Happy International Women's Day. Guys, I am super excited to bring you something that's near and dear to my heart. This past week has been really interesting for me. I've been leaning into a lot of my own intuition and deciding to run with whatever the universe is giving me. I'm going to be doing a podcast about that very soon. But what it amounts to is that as International Women's Day comes up, it's today. Welcome, everybody. But I am so lucky and so blessed to be supported and have in my circle women who are part of an international writing community, right? I have so many women who are just amazing. So I reached out to a handful of the ones that came to mind, the ones that are near and dear to my heart, and asked them to answer some questions about what it means to be a woman in the publishing industry, a woman who is also an entrepreneur, and of course, celebrate International Women's Day with me. So, without further ado, I want to introduce some of them to you and their answers to those questions I was asking. First up is my partner in crime, Tammy Tyree. Now, Tammy and I started working together last year. She's from Canada, I'm in the United States. And I just love the fact that we can transcend that border to be able to work together and do things together and communicate to our audience in a way that really levels each other up, fills each other up in a new way, and touches the indie author community in new and inspiring and challenging ways. So let's hear what Tammy had to say.
Happy International Women's Day. I'm Tammy Tyree. I'm an award-winning author and clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm reaching out to all of the fabulous female authors in the world. I wanted to share that the most valuable lesson I've learned on this journey is that I'm not alone. And I'm so grateful for all of the podcasters and the courses and the people that I've met along the way, each one being an invaluable part of my learning and my author journey. I balance my creative passion of writing with my entrepreneurial drive to succeed by aligning with a supportive network of authors who have been there and done that. And also, I'm intentional with what hat I'm wearing throughout the day. My creator hat is on in the morning, my marketer hat is on in the afternoon, and my manager hat orchestrates the entire show. Now, the advice that I have for women authors aspiring to make their mark on the world is to go for it. Just remember that part of you and your creativeness is source energy. So, knowing that source energy only knows success, then so must you. So get that brain out of the way. Those conscious thoughts that I can't do this, they are not true. And when you align with your source energy and you align with your truth, anything and everything is absolutely possible. Now, a moment of challenge on my journey has been mindset. Even as a clinical hypnotherapist, I'm supposed to understand the mechanics of the subconscious and conscious mind. I could get tripped up by the stories my consciousness would tell me. But once I aligned with the right people and the places and things, then that no longer became an issue. International Women's Day gives us the opportunity to celebrate the literary women who have come before us, who wrote and published even when it was not acceptable to do so. This year, I'll celebrate those women by reading some of their works and honoring the path that they have set for us all. I hope you have a wonderful International Women's Day, and remember that you are not alone on this journey.
Next up is my dear friend Emma Desi. Now, you probably know Emma. She's been around, she's in the UK. She does some amazing work with authors who are learning to get over their limiting beliefs and write their book already. And I love her so much. She was one of the first women entrepreneurs who reached out to me in the early part of Author Revolution to be a part of a summit. And I had never done that before. And so I don't even know if Emma knows this, but it really touched my heart. And she has a special place because of it. So let's hear what Emma has to say about being a woman entrepreneur and author.
Hey Carissa, what a wonderful thing you are doing for International Women's Day, and I am thrilled to be part of it. So, one of the things that I've learned through becoming an author and becoming an entrepreneur is that I'm capable of so much more than I ever thought I would be. And I am sure I'm like a lot of our listeners here today. For a long time, I told myself I couldn't finish anything. For a long time, I told myself, who do you think you are trying to do this? You don't have the willpower, you don't have the staying power, you don't have the creativity, and you don't have the language to be able to write this book that you want to write. And what I learned by doing the first draft of my first book is that, yes, I am capable of doing these things if I do it little by little and stick with it. I now know that I can do things that seem so hard, but actually, if I stick with it, I'll get there in the end. And it's exactly the same for the people I work with in my coaching, and it's the same for everybody listening here today. And it feeds into the other thing that I want to share. And this was epitomized for me when I read the book Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. And she really kind of, she put into words what it is I had been learning. And that is, we're on a journey with this, that writing a book is not a one and done thing. Building an entrepreneur career, building a literary career, it's not a one and done deal. We're on this long, long path. We're where we are, we can look back and see how far we've come, and then we can look forwards and we get the excitement of what's to come. But we just have to do it bird by bird, step by step. Keep putting one step in front of the other, one word in front of the other, and eventually we'll get there. It really is, to use that cliche, it really is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And that can be hard to reconcile with, because we want everything now. We want to have done the thing already. But actually, if you can, switch that over and just enjoy the ride, because it is fun along the way. It is challenging, but it's a fun challenge, and it's one you can absolutely do if it's in your heart's desire to do it. All right, take care and happy International Women's Day. Yay!
Okay, next, you know her, you love her. It's Jo Buer from the Alchemy for Authors podcast in New Zealand. Again, international women. Look at all these amazing women we have in our community, guys. It's phenomenal to me how much talent we have worldwide, and how this web of wonderful ladies all coming together can really create something powerful and special. So Jo is amazing. She and I are so similar in so many ways, right down to like our childhoods and things like that, but she lives a world away, right? But I'm so blessed to be her friend, to be a podcast that is supportive of her and vice versa. I mean, she's just amazing. And so let's hear from Jo.
Hello, my lovelies. My name is Jo Buer. I am a Gothic suspense and paranormal cozy author and the host of the Alchemy for Authors podcast. As we celebrate International Women's Day, I just wanted to quickly pop on to talk a little bit about some of the things that I have learned through my journey as being a woman entrepreneur. And one of those is the most valuable lesson that I have learned being an author. And that is quite cliche, really, but it is simply follow your joy. When it comes to writing your books and doing your marketing and doing all the things, there's got to be a little bit of following your joy, what lights you up inside. Because at some point, when we keep doing what feels expected of us, and we keep writing what we feel is expected of us, and writing to market and doing all those things that everybody tells us we must do, we are going to burn out. We cannot do all the things. We have one amazing life, and it is meant to be lived fully with an open heart. And our readers know when we're drawing on that energy, that authenticity, and that bliss. The stories we write because they call to us, those are the ones that we were put here on earth to write. And yeah, maybe they won't be our bestsellers, but I can guarantee that someone out there needs your words, needs your story, and you were called to write that for them. But also, you were called to write it for you. Writing is a way to not only tap into something greater than yourself, but also something greater within yourself. And in all honesty, the stories, the books that I've written that were purely me following my bliss they're the ones that sell. They're the ones that really sell for me and resonate with the most people. And yeah, so I think following your joy really shines through. A second question I'm going to answer, well, I've got opportunity to do so, is how do I balance the creative passion of writing with the entrepreneurial drive to succeed? So I don't at all. The truth is, I love doing all the things. I love the writing, but I also love the business end of being a indie author as well. And yeah, I want to be successful doing it all. But if I wasn't passionate about the writing part, then I wouldn't bother with the business side. There'd be 0 point to that. But it's because I'm in love with the creative process of writing that I want my books to be visible in the world. And so, therefore, that requires some marketing. More eyes on my work also increases the possibility of someone who is presently sitting on the fence with the dream to be an author, just a wish, that they're going to be inspired by seeing that I am doing this, I am writing these books, and they're going to think, you know what, I can do better. Or just that, if Joe can do it, so can I. So equally fulfilling to writing a book for me is encouraging or inspiring somebody else to get off their butt and do it too, because you can. And now I don't write every day. That's not my process. And so if there was another valuable lesson that I've learned, there is no one way to write a book, to market a book, to be successful in this career. But I do follow my joy. When I'm not writing, I'm really putting the energy into the marketing. And when I'm not marketing and I start to kind of back off that, then I know it's time to turn my attention back to writing again. So for me, it's not exactly a balance, but it is absolutely what works. And it's just trusting my intuition a little bit to do what feels right at the time. So there we are. There's a little bit about me and my writing process. And yeah, happy International Women's Day, everybody. Bye.
As you can see, I'm supported, and you are too, with some amazing international women who are just spectacular at what they do and the voices that they bring to the indie author community. Now, for me, I figured I'd go last. So, what's the most valuable lesson that I've learned as a woman, as an entrepreneur, as someone who is in the publishing industry? It's really honestly to not give up, because we've got so many things, so many different ways coming at us. We're trying to overcome challenges. We're in a marketplace that's very like popularity driven. And so if you want to succeed in this industry, it's all about trusting that you're meant to be here, trusting you get to have whatever it is that you dream of having, and knowing that you can keep going at it until it's yours, right? And so that's probably been my biggest lesson. There were definitely times where I wanted to give up, where I was thinking, am I doing this wrong? Like, I'm a smart person. Why isn't this working yet? But I realized the thing that was holding me back was my mindset. It was the way I was looking at and viewing and perceiving how the challenges work for me. Like, I'm a smart person. In school, I got A's all the time. Like, people were astounded. And so why is this so hard? Well, this is real life. And this is something that we are all working through. We're all growing through. We're all trying to feel out how this gets to work for us. So once I started realizing that this is a journey and I'm mid-manifestation of my perfect author career or my perfect place in the publishing world, it all comes together. It's all working out. Every step that I do is working towards my greater good. And the same goes for you. So if you are in a place where you've been asking yourself, like, why is this not working? It's time to shift your thoughts just a little bit and trust that you're on the right path. You get what you want, right? You get to choose and decide. It's your superpower, this decision-making thing. And so if you decide that come hell or high water, you're going to get it, you absolutely will. So trust yourself and your abilities. And of course, trust that there are people around you, women, for instance, who are all over the world doing the exact same thing, looking for the exact same ends. And we are all here to support and cherish one another. So lean on your friends, lean on your author friends, lean on the women in the author community. Guys, we love you too, but today is not about you, all right? Love who you are and where you're at, and trust that the right people at the right time are all going to come in, because they absolutely will. I can tell you that from experience. So I hope that this little series has inspired you, or has at least put a smile on your face for today about what it means to be a woman in the publishing industry, and trusting that no matter what you want, no matter how you want it, it's up to you to go out and get it, and know that it is absolutely yours. You can decide right now that no matter how hard it gets, because it will get hard at times, you can overcome those challenges. So thank you so much for being a part of this, for watching these videos, for seeing the wonderful women who are part of our International Women's Day community, and obviously Author Revolution. So go forth and start that author revolution.